Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hot Takes League of Legends edition. Just the duo this time, me and Davide. And there's no tricks. There's no third person waiting in Discord for us to show them on the camera. Yeah, just Davide and I. And where should we start? Maybe we just jump straight into the LEC, Davide. Is there any point even having the final weekend? Because G2 are just going to win it, aren't they? Isn't it a bit obvious already?
Oof. Yeah, are you going to put it that way already?
I mean,
Uh,
after last night, bloody hell.
yeah, definitely like G2 is looking much better. I was talking to Dylan Falco yesterday as well. He was saying basically that guys seemingly have started like they worked out what was going wrong at the start of the season, going through like literally every single detail and then basically just ramping up, which is kind of uh unconventional, I guess, from G2's side, because usually you're so used to just then seeing them like stomp everyone. But like they had a like up and down and during the regular season. But definitely, yeah. Yesterday, I think it was. I don't even think like MKOI played that badly. You know, like it's not like MKOI was trying like they were not playing to their best, but I don't think they were doing that bad in terms of execution. It's just that G2 stomped them, in every single way. Like even I remember that 5-3-5 fight that the G2 took around Baron. The fact that they managed to win that so convincingly, like they literally knew that they could win it, and made it out, like made it work. It's very very insane to me. The one thing that I've been thinking though is that I don't think we've seen the maximum level from KC actually. So I think among the four teams that are left for the LEC Versus playoffs, which is GX, KC, MKOI, and G2, I still think KC is probably the one that can potentially kind of contest G2 in terms of max potential. But I would need to see them first against GX to kind of gauge whether they are able to actually do it,
The
because I
2-0
feel
from
like
the upper bracket doesn't put you off against G2.
uh, I feel like KC against G2, like they didn't show up. They didn't show up as far as I remember. There were like some uh just off moments. I think G2 has probably found the way, like the correct way to play, which is also what MKOI does. So like both teams are playing a lot for their mid laners, contesting a lot the jungle support mid 3v3. I don't think KC has been doing that as often. So maybe it's something that they can fix go into this weekend, this coming weekend in Barcelona. So maybe there's like a little bit more to be drawn out in terms of performance, I guess. The fact that MKOI, I feel like MKOI has kind of hit their limit in terms of um, how much they can improve. Because I feel like their direction is very good. The way they're playing makes sense. It's just that the players are not mechanically executing everything as it should. We've seen Jojo trying to limit test the laning phase, which worked out well. Leon is doing super good in trying to drive up the tempo and take the lead. The issue is like players are making a lot of singular mistakes that can kind of throw off the game. You could see that in the series in the second game against G2, where they try to deny the Seraphim pick for G2's bot lane by getting it on Alvaro, but then Alvaro misplayed quite a lot of times on the range support, and you can clearly see that it's like MKOI is still struggling to maximize the value and like the game plans on those picks. We've always known that Alvaro has never been like a range support player, So, and then obviously it's something that you cannot really master in such a short amount of time. You obviously know how you should be playing the game, but then actually knowing all the limits and all the fine details, the like the min-maxing of playing the laning phase that way is very different. Something that, for example, LCK teams do is using the double range bot lanes to like bully and deny, but while not getting caught. And Alvaro did a lot. Like there were like more than at least 2 or 3 occasions where I feel like Alvaro misjudged it's his positioning, and that led to G2 getting way a stronger lead that they should have. And yeah, so I think it's like I still think MKOI can be on par with KC and G2. The fact that there is a fundamental kind of laning phase focus or mechanical thing that they need to work on is something that I don't believe you can fix magically over, I don't know, like was it 3-4 days, unless like it's just a player form. But I don't think it's just a player form, because otherwise if you actually know how to play this matchup, you shouldn't be able to make those mistakes on stage. So I think it's at least good, I guess, that the fact we still get the same 3 teams that we were expecting kind of the start of the season, because we back when in January we were doing the power rankings, it feels like at least, oh, we're back into playoffs, we're back to fearless, everything has kind of come back to normal, I would say. But definitely this G2 roster is showing up super well. I don't know what happened, but it's like Skew1 has been
He was
ramping
ridiculous.
up, broken. Like the thing is, like, as soon as all of the G2 members kind of wake up and find their form, the team just like glows, and like it glows in a way that it's like it looks like they're on a different tier compared to other teams. But then on the other hand, we don't really know right now what G2's level will be like going into internationals, even KC's level going to internationals, even MKOI's level going to international. So, we definitely think that it's good that we're getting more. We're seeing more teams fight it out. But yeah, so I think it will be mainly down to I want to see one of these 3 teams. I think GX is probably a tier lower than these 3. I just want to see any of these 3 teams peak in finals if they get there, and then see that peak transition into first stand the next month. Because if we send out I don't want to say that we send the wrong representative, but if we send someone who somehow peaks in offline in a LAN event, but then kind of doesn't really show up in first stand, it's not a really good look for the LEC overall,
I feel like at the moment it kind of even feels like a bit of a shame there's only one team going to first stand, because I feel like you'd kind of I feel maybe a tiny bit less MKOI, but at least G2 and KC at the moment you would feel pretty confident that they could do something at first stand. So yeah, it almost feels like a bit of a shame that there's only one spot going. But with KC, do you feel it's a little bit of a worry? Because they, not to say they're doing an opposite of G2, because it's only one series that they lost, but KC, when we were talking about them in the regular season, it was just so much of like, KC are just clearly the best team right now, and no one even came close. And then, yeah, do you feel like they've dropped off at all from what you saw against G2, or is it just G2 have stepped up?
No. Actually, I don't think so. I'm actually still quite confident about GKC. The main thing for me it's that I was looking at I think against G2 there were 2 reasons. The first one being the draft. I really dislike the drafts, I must say. Like, I haven't been a fan of Game 1's draft. Like, I understand getting Ezreal and and Bard together. It's like it's super comfort picks. But I'm just not a fan of picking it such early into Fearless because like there's so many options that you can go for, and obviously like I think it was just an off game from Kana. Like he got stomped by Broken Blade in the first game. Skewmon kind of annihilated Yike as well. So it's like when you have so many players struggling, it's bound to not be a good result, you know. It's all like you can magically salvage with superhero play. And in second game, I think it was fine. Actually, like it went for 50 minutes, you know. Like G2 had a massive lead early on, and then KC was actually like coming back slowly. The fact that they were able to keep the game going for so long is a clear sentiment to me, at least, that the team is there, you know, like they know how to play it. Yike stole so many objectives that game. The fact that they were trying to keep composure and trying to find a way to play around the enemy team that was super fed on at least like 3 champions. Like they had Rise, they had Rumble, like Skewmon was literally like could literally go in whenever and kill someone as long as someone else had to like could follow up with one of their spells. So I think that it's like it was an off series, I guess. Obviously the opponent was super strong because I think G2 has definitely looked way better, and it's like probably the best team so far that we've seen in playoffs, the most convincing one at least for sure. But I guess at least Casey has you know that fire. I think if I don't know if you want to put it that way, but just like he still has it, you know. It's not like they dropped off. I think it's like it's more that Casey kind of remained at least at a high level, but like G2 just like ramped up super quickly. So I think we're still there.
Probably, I
I
feel like
would want
I was going to say the biggest issue for them now is just where they are in the bracket, and like to realistically, if they're actually gonna, let's imagine they're doing a run to win the LEC, they've got to win 5. Fucking hell, can't speak. They've got to win 3 best of 5s in a row back to back, which is absolutely brutal, I think.
I mean, you know, like there are some times where playing through the lower bracket actually makes sense. It's more helpful because you already get into the groove of playing on stage.
Yeah, and you get like
get
more
used
wins
to it.
against the like what should be the worst teams.
Yeah, I guess like the first showing against GX will kind of be important because I honestly I would be more worried if like Casey, for example, doesn't win against GX that cleanly. I would be concerned of that if that were the case. I would only otherwise I definitely see a world where Casey can fight off with MKOI on similar level, and then depending on how that goes, G2. I mean, for G2 it's more like it will be depending on fearless draft. I think the fact that the teams haven't played out that many fearless drafts so far, and the fact that there was
Oh, we've lost your mic for a second there, Davide.
Hello.
Hello, there he is. About bloody time. You've just joined us as we were talking about how terrible KC are now.
Really?
I'm only joking. We just talk about generally their chances that they're not, you know, they're still looking all right, but that 3 back-to-back best of 5s is a bit brutal. How are you, Ethan?
It is brutal, but
Are you well
can
rested?
gain momentum. You can gain momentum with it actually. So I think it's a like you can lose from it as you can win from it. But yeah, apologize for the for the delay.
Okay, the viewers just had, you know, 15 minutes less to part with you for, so it's all right.
It's fine.
By the way, you need to mute on Video Ninja.
Oh, yeah.
And there you are. The gang's all here. Can we hear you now, Davide? Your mic is totally gone for me. Ethan, can you hear him?
Is it fine now?
Yeah, but can you hear Davide when he talks?
Yeah, I can.
Bloody hell. Hold on. Let me rejoin Discord for a second. Davide, can I hear you now?
Hello.
There we go. We're back. Okay.
Okay.
Technical issues. Ethan's
I
fault.
fucked up the whole podcast or what?
You just being here made everything fuck up. But never mind. So where do we go? Maybe we chat more about MKOI then, because we've kind of glossed over them a little bit. I guess for them, is it a worry after what's happened last night? Because I feel like even if they got back, they win that match on Saturday and they're against G2 again. Like, would you feel that confident that they'd really have a chance?
Yeah, no, I was saying that I think we've kind of seen the limit of MKOI a little bit in what I would assume is a limit. Because obviously, I don't think like it's like a limit in that sense, but it's like a limit of the performance that they can pull out of based on current situation. It's that I think the things that they need to work on needs a little bit more time, and it's not something that you can magically get it sorted in a couple of days, because it's not draft, I think, necessarily, even though like I said, there was like a weird moment with the Seraphine, and then the like even game 2 draft with the fact that they went for was it Jace jungle with Aurora top lane and then the Cassio in the mid lane. Like, it was fine, like I get it, but it doesn't feel like it's something that MKOI would traditionally play or like would be super comfortable playing on. So the main takeaway for me is MKOI is still a top team. I still think they can be better, like they can show up better than this, but the likelihood of them performing better than KC and G2 at current stand heading to like with 1 week's time, I think is not as high.
Yeah, I need to admit that I didn't. I need to catch up with the games as well because I didn't even watch the G2 MK series yet.
Like,
Yeah, I was.
I'll give you like a nitbit. So
Yeah,
basically,
go.
like G2 like stomp. It's not like it's stomp. Like they stomped at least uh one game, I think, but
Mhm.
then it was just mainly the fact that they were fighting a lot closely, but like most of the fights ended up in G2's favor, so like it opened up such a big gap, and there were like some mechanical misplays, I guess, from some of the MKOI players that caused basically just G2 to take a massive lead. And even though like MKOI found ways to get back, like G2 would like so G2 would try to do something, MKOI fights back, MKOI gets the advantage, but then on the next play, G2 just gets them back once again. So like
And
the whole thing compounded over time, you know.
and was it more about like skirmishes or was it more about
Yeah,
like team fights?
it was very skirmish heavy. It was a lot of also mid lane 1v1s. Like Jojo and yeah, and Caps were they had like a Ari Cassiopeia matchup.
Mm.
Like they killed themselves one time each, like before level 4, like before
Yeah,
level
yeah.
5, I think. And then like Yike, Elioya, Alvaro and oh,
Not
sorry,
Yike.
not Yike. Skewman, sorry,
Skumon.
Skewman and Labrov,
Yeah.
Elioya and Alvaro were like constantly
Mm.
fighting over the mid lane. They were
Yeah, that's
literally like they were literally sitting on fog of war,
yeah.
waiting for someone to start the skirmish and then just join the fight.
Mm. Yeah, that I'm not like that surprised about it because that's like kind of the gameplay I saw from G2 recently,
Yeah,
since they found their footing again. I feel like Skumond and Labov are dictating the pace of the game, kinda. He's just always trying to invade, always trying to fight for anything, for any prio, for any camp actually. And I feel like he's always coming out winning on top of it. So yeah, I'm kind of not surprised. I feel like G2 are very good at that, at macro game, just playing around their strengths, their prior lanes, trying to push on some camps to help Skumond like push his lead actually. And yeah, I saw that everyone was praising Skumon for his performance yesterday. I feel like I didn't watch the game again, but I feel like he kind of smurfed it. So yeah, I'm not that surprised about the outcome, because I feel like it's when Skumond is playing well and that G2 is playing well around him, they are the best team in EU, period, you know. And so yeah, I feel like teams need to find a way to not play G2's game, which is, you know, trying to defend those camps that Command would want to take, trying to defend the skirmishes as well. And yeah, that's kind of it. I feel like they need to find other strengths, you know. Maybe for MKOI, for example, to me, what was their main strengths recently was that they were very good around objective, you know. They were very good at team fighting around objective. I don't know what happened in the series, if they lost every fight or whatever. But I think like in 5v5, they are starting to be very good, so yeah.
Are we unfairly forgetting about GIANTX a little bit? Is there a chance that
Honestly,
they just beat KC?
nah, I don't see it. I think they can honestly take one game with the momentum, maybe two. They will never take three games. Like, I don't ever see it, honestly.
Flip this out.
And basically, why I think so is that I feel like, for obviously the main strength of GX is their bot lane to me. And I feel like right now, their bot lane, I just have a mortal block against KC. I don't know if I said it already here, but the last time they were playing against KC, some talent came to them and asked them, yeah, what do you think of Bushu and Kalis, basically? And they were saying it's the best bot lane in the league, you know, like not even close to us, or not even we are, and then they're the second. It's like they are the best bot lane in the league. And I feel like the last time they faced, we saw exactly that yeah, Kalista and Bushu are just outplaying them. They are just better overall. I feel like even though they are not better, maybe JX doesn't know how to play against them. And the fact that, you know, they're coming with such a confidence advantage over them, that they think they are the better bot lane, you know, it's just not healthy in a way. Like, it's very hard to win in these conditions. Especially when your bot lane is your main asset, right, in your team. And also I feel like Isma, like on the other end, Isma against Navi was very good. I feel like, I don't know what you guys think about it, but I feel like he kind of carried the game. So it might come down to him, but honestly, I don't see it. I think the solo lanes are gonna get smashed. Given what I saw recently, I think the bot lane is just has the ego and confidence advantage, and yeah, jungle is just better. Like, yeah, I don't see it. Honestly, I don't see it. I think it should be a 3-1, 3-0 because it's stage and stuff. But yeah, actually, you never know because it's staged, right? And maybe GX have their fans in
That's
Barcelona.
what I was going to say. I
know.
feel like that's like the only angle I could kind of see is, well, for starters, we remember what happened last time KC were in Spain. Obviously under different circumstances, but bit of a crumble there. But no, like GIANTX have, like I've said it before, like they have a much bigger like Spanish fan base than I had realized until I went to the first roadshow last year. Like they actually have a lot of pretty hardcore fans. That I guess just kind of gets overshadowed by MKOI being like the big team in Spain, but like they'll definitely have a lot of fans there for them. So like that's maybe the one thing that could sway it a bit. But then yeah, like I say, maybe just the starting blocks are too different. That maybe that bump gets them a game or two. But yeah, winning would be a big push, I reckon.
Yeah.
Shall we move on? Shall we do the LCK?
Yeah.
So is it Doran's fault that T1 are not going to first stand? Whose fault
Actually,
is
he
it?
didn't play as well. He didn't play as well than the regular season to me.
I knew it. I knew it.
He was not the best. Like, I think, yeah, Siwoo was the best top laner in that series, for sure. But honestly, again, I think I was saying it last week, right? That to me, Pace and Keria are not the best duo lane in the league. Like, are far from the best duo lane in the league. And I think we saw it again. Like, I think even though Smash and Carrier were not like, astonishing, especially in lane. I think like Carrier had a rough time. Maybe we're gonna talk about it later, but yeah, he had a rough time, especially the first few games, and then after that, like he was not playing that much. I feel like, and after that, I feel like he was playing okay, but he was still not, decisive for his team, let's say. While, yeah, I feel like Pace and Keria kind of went AFK as well, It was more on Faker to actually push his leads and stuff, to actually be the winning option for T1. Because Doran as well was kind of getting outplayed by Siwu, I feel like, in lane. And yeah, I just feel like, guys, Lucid, maybe we need to start a discussion about this guy, but he's so, so good. I feel like, yeah, I just see the progress of this player, the growth of this player. It was like last year, this guy was very good, but you could already see the potential against like the weaker team. But whenever he faced like big teams, whenever he faced like the Honor, the Canyon, even Cuz, I felt like he was um, kind of, I don't know if it was a confidence issue or whatever, but he was not playing as well as he did against the like weaker team, and you could say, yeah, it's because his lane doesn't have the same prio, because the jungler is just better, the jungler he faces is just better. But don't feel like it was really the case, because even in regular season, I could see him outplaying Canyons and stuff, but it was always in BO5. So I think it was mostly a confidence issue. And yeah, he just overcame it this series. Like the fact they reverse swept T1, and they reverse swept basically the best jungler in the world. I feel like maybe he just overcame that hurdle, that mental hurdle that would have been a problem for him in the long run. So I hope now that he's unleashed and that we're gonna see the best version of Lucid forever, because I really do think this guy has the potential to be one of the best, for sure.
I don't know. I feel like I have a slightly different take about T1.
Okay,
I don't
go
know.
ahead.
It's so I agree with some of the things that we're saying. I do agree that I think Pace and Kira are not the best dual bot, but I don't think that was the plan anyway. Like, um, the main difference between this year's T1 and last year's T1 comes down to obviously Pace being different from a different profile compared to Guma. T1 has actually been playing towards Pace, like how Pace used to play for Gen.G, which is very carry oriented, and I think um, it's fair to say that they're trying to play a more around Faker, because I think he's kind of the win con for them that then allows Pace to shine in team fights, but also at the same time it's kind of the way you want to play the meta, because we also saw that from G2, for example, that they want to play around caps and do a lot of things 3-3. I think it's just a combination of Pace having some off moments. Like I remember that was like a super weird scenario where Pace just flashes forward on the Felios, tries to ult, and then walks into like 4 or 5 people of DK that like what was, I think it was like close to the Krugs. And it was such a weird angle. Like I understand him wanting to make the hero play because obviously he was quite fed, or he had the damage, but it's one of those things where you feel like, oh, everything is on his shoulders and he's not being able to deliver, I guess, in that way. And yeah, I think the loss against DK was mainly driven to two factors, because I think the script was so weird to me, because the first 2 games were stomped, like T1 stomped DK,
Yeah.
I think, and then draft. The fearless draft, I don't know what the hell happened in game 3 with the TF and the Kazakhs. I don't think it's
with Aphelios Lulu. That's the
Yeah,
that's the weirdest part.
I understand like why you would like to do that into the enemy comp, but at the same time you're literally trying to flip a game which can also flip your momentum, because it literally did. And then you're forced yourself to play around. Instead of closing out the game 3-0, you decided to like force it out. And then also in the fourth game they did the same thing by
Sylas
drafting
top.
Sylas. Yeah, like Sylas. I understand the fact that you want Sylas and you want to like you trying to flex pick and do stuff. And obviously maximize his value by getting the enemy's ultimates, but at the same time it's like Doran doesn't seem like did not seem like comfortable playing that stuff.
Yeah.
You know that owner plays it a lot better in the jungle. Why are you forcing these kind of things? It's the fact that like for example Doran didn't show up well. I think is also due to that. It's not just
He wasn't in the best conditions, we'll say.
Yeah, I don't think he was given the best conditions. First of all, I don't want to say he's like got an excuse, because I think it's like the at least fourth game was on him for sure. Maybe also a little bit of the fifth game. I think. Some people I've read some people that they were blaming owner for the smites on the Kalista. And while I do agree that obviously you should be able to win these fights, I also kind of think it's on pace. And I'm not trying to point fingers. It's just that the fact that it's really hard to time the Kalista run. And I think DK did a really good job on forcing the fights as Kalista runs the spears were stacking up, and forcing a fight in forcing a T1 in making a decision. Do we fight, focus on smiting the Drake, or do we take the fight? And I think that's what allowed DK to get the mental upper hand, I guess, in those moments. And the fact that there was a clear miscommunication, because I think there was at least one Drake, I'm not sure which one was it, that like Kalista had clearly a lot of spears. She could rend it. Owner was clearly waiting for the smite, for the rend to come down and instantly smite, but then Pace was probably focused on his positioning that he didn't cast it. And so by the time he were probably like in the communications, I would assume that the owner was trying to call him like, rend it. Lucid had already come over. But there was like at least I think a 1 or 2 seconds window where they could have just like at least quickly taken the Drake and then try to get away, or I don't know, like let someone die and let the other four live. There was like it was like a combination of things that led to those things.
I'm gonna say it. Guma will never. Like this kind of stuff, Guma will never.
Yeah, because Guma will get it himself. He would steal stuff.
No, but
just
he will steal it, and actually those kind of micro detail of communication, of being clutch at the right moment. That's the kind of thing where you can't.
Yeah, I definitely see
Guma
like
is just the best in this kind of stuff. Honestly,
I definitely see that. I think it's also why T1 has looked good in regular season, but that hasn't looked good in BO5s. For me, at least. Like, I think we gotta talk about the draft somehow, because I feel like they're like T1 is super good at playing BO3s, because most of the time they play like they only get to BO3s, but I guess that now once the pool is ranked, the options that they get is a little bit limited, and it's a lot on Faker and Owner actually, and probably Carrier to find those picks. Because I feel like the way I kind of see it is with traditional pixel, could the first round of draft, the first games in a BO5, T1 has a high ceiling with most of the drafts that they can play, but as the champion pool shrinks down, it becomes more and more volatile. So it's a lot more on them to deliver, and as soon as someone doesn't deliver, then T1 starts crumbling down. We saw that with Owner in Game 3, we saw that with Dorian in Game 4, we saw that with Faker, you could argue also on some of the games, because I think he also kind of had a rough series on a few moments. There were like a lot of mechanical misplays, I think, from his side as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I think
Even
it
though
was
he always had the lead, you know, and that's
yeah,
something I wanted to talk about as well. Is that Showmaker kind of gripped this team, you know, in this series. Like,
yeah,
let's say it.
like you would say, like, you know, it's like, oh, Faker, it looks like I'm blaming Faker, but then if you look at what Showmaker was doing, and like on the Cassiopeia game, I was like, okay, yeah, that's not supposed to happen.
Even
Like,
the Tristana game, honestly.
you could argue that Jojo's peons, Jojo's Cassiopeia was infinitely better than Showmaker's. And if you haven't watched the games, Ethan, but
Yeah,
if
but
you go
I
back,
know that was that matchup. Yeah.
you could probably tell me that you probably would agree with me. But it's just that Siwa has been insane. Smash has been super consistent. I really want to praise this guy because I think he's the one that basically changed the entire DK roster, because it's literally the same four guy, like obviously new bot lane, but it's like it's the same top side trio, and Korea has had up and downs. So during the regular season, Smash was actually the one, I think, most of the time stepping up when DK won. And I think he's definitely he's proving himself. You know, I don't think we have to talk more about everything that went down last year. It's just that he needed an environment where he could really shine, and I think DK's lineup is the perfect way for him to shine. You know, that you got Showmaker, who's willing to play many different things, even though he sometimes doesn't play it well. But I think the draft advantage that the team gets from having Showmaker as a trump card, that it can kind of give him everything, and you'll know that he'll kind of somewhat pull it off. And then having a super reliable top laner, which is, I think, honestly, now see where we can potentially put him in top 3 bracket, because I think it would be him, Keen, and do you see Zeus or Dora? Yeah, probably Zeus, but even like, yeah, we haven't seen from Zeus much so far, but yeah, it's close there. And then, like you said, I think I don't think
maybe Dudu.
I actually
also
Dudu has been doing fine, but I think it's just mainly like a combination of DK having a super strong synergy that they finally seemingly have, and a combination of T1 struggling. But I don't think if we play this series again, or like another BO5 series between T1 and DK, I don't really see DK winning. You know, it's not like I don't want to, you know, like make it seem like I'm belittling DK. It's just that I think it was DK showing up on the day, T1 struggling a little bit, but like if we were to play out this again, I still think T1's performance would be a little bit higher, because I think the T1 I need to see, and I would like to see, is the one that in the first 2 games that we saw, that they were stomping, and it's the one that I was expecting to see, you know. So it's
I think they just didn't found their identity in BO5 yet, you know.
Yeah, I think it's mainly that. Yeah, definitely. Which is a little bit concerning though, like, because it's like if it wasn't exploited right now, it probably would have been exploited by first stand, you know, because it's like BO5s all along. So I'm not really sure how.
Nah, it's fine. You will win worlds anyway. No worries.
Fair. I mean, if that's the usual trade-off, you know, like 10 months of Gen.G into 1 month of T1, I guess.
Yeah. And I guess you're always happy in the end, you know. So.
By the way, I have a question: BFX or DK? Who do you guys put?
BFX. I think they just have a better bot lane overall, and right now, usually the best bot lane win the game. If there's a big margin, the best bot lane will win the game on its own. So yeah.
I'll go to be a contrarian against Ethan. I'll go for DK because you know what, they've reached their breaking point now, and they broke through the barrier after that game 2 where Korea was crying on stream, and all the drama that came at that. So let's talk about that, because I'm using that for the segue. But obviously there was that clip
What a good host.
Yeah, exactly. So there was that clip that went viral. Yeah, after the second game, Korea like just crying his eyes out basically. and cvMax there giving him some tissues, and I think there's like a couple of discussions about it. Firstly, whenever there's something like this, there's the people that will inevitably complain of the fact that they show it on the broadcast at all when players are like that, which I think is always just ridiculous argument anyway. Like for starters, these guys are competitors. They know what they know what they're signing up for, and as a viewer, you want to see people be emotional. Like not saying you want to see people crying their eyes out every day, but you want to see that the players care about it and that that it affects them. You don't want it to go to the point of like Faker banging his head against the wall. Obviously, no one wants to see that, but you want to see emotion. You want to see passion.
You want to see ups and downs, yeah.
Exactly.
Ups and downs. It's competition, and it's part of it. So.
And they've had literally both sides of it in that one series, because they've had this point where it looks dejected. The players clearly incredibly overwhelmed with the pressure, with the whole emotion, and then they reverse sweep off the back of that. But obviously, what was probably the bigger discussion was about cvMax specifically, because we know that he's got history of potentially questionable treatment of players. There'd definitely been complaints before. I think he had like a suspension some years back. But Chronicler really set it off on Twitter. But I can't remember what his first tweet was, just kind of complaining about cvMax's treatment. But in that clip, he's there kind of consoling Career, and I think people were sort of replying to him saying, in this clip, he looks like he's trying to help him. And what Chronicler said was that he kind of sees it that cvMax is, as a result of cvMax's treatment of his players, that someone like Career would get to that point of being so overwhelmed and crying his eyes out like that after a loss, even mid-series while it's still going. And he said that there's been many times where they would see how he treats people, as broadcast talent, and they would see it, and they'd see these shots that they wouldn't show on broadcast because it would look, wouldn't look professional, of the way that he would, be shouting at his players and aggressively giving his feedback. It almost kind of goes back to, I guess, a conversation we had recently about, being tough with the players and looking at like football managers that would do that, and maybe it works for certain players, but also you kind of need to know what players can handle it. And that's not to say that maybe cvMax takes it too far as well. I remember like the stuff with Griffin back on the day was, sure there was like allegations that he was like putting hands on people and stuff, which obviously would be over the top. But I think there would be, I don't think that having a coach that shouts at their players is like de facto a bad thing or bad treatment. You just need to know. You need to know what your players would react to. So not to say that he's done something in this series, because again, we don't know all the time what's going on behind the scenes. But you get what I would point out is that you've got Career crying his eyes out, and everyone's saying the treatment's horrible, and then they go reverse sweep. So it looked like in that moment maybe things were at the breaking point, but you never know. Maybe that's the point where it's like, okay, they've broken through, and this is like a bit of a sliding doors thing.
And Carrier gave more insight about it in the interview after the match. He said that he kind of got fired up by cvMax. So I guess actually, he kind of he most likely shouted at him, and that cvMax told him that he was why he was so shy, so timid in game. And so yeah, he was actually very shy in the games before game 3. I would say he wasn't really playing the game with his team. He wasn't really decisive. He wasn't really trying stuff. Especially when you take some champions like the Blitzcrank, for example, in game 2, you can't be shy. That's a champion where you need to be aggressive, and if you're not, then you will be useless all game. When you try stuff,
Yeah.
So yeah, I see why he told him that he was very shy. I don't know if he said it in the correct way. I don't know if shouting at Carrier was the best way to actually make it happen and kind of have him being on a wake-up call. but in the end, actually, it seems like it worked. Even though I don't think like I don't feel like Carrier was the main carrier of this team in this match. Even in the 3 games they won, I think he played a bit better because he was just more connected with his team. But in the end, I don't think he was as decisive as he could have been or as he should have been as a support, you know. But yeah, just to point out that in the end, to me, it's not about like are you shouting at your player or not. It's like, are you like maybe crossing the line or not of being respectful, you know?
Yeah.
Because you can shout at your player, being very emotional to actually wake them up. But if you're like disrespectful again, if you're like crossing the line, then that's an issue, you know?
Yeah. It's also
Uh,
it's just knowing which players respond to that as well. Like there are some players
yeah,
that
can
you
can
shout
handle
at them
it,
would
yeah.
do the opposite effect. There are some that would get fired up. Like if you look at
Mm.
to bring it to football as usual, for Alex Ferguson, who's like generally considered the best manager of all time, he had players that played for him for 20 years that he was known to be like a real hard ass and would shout at people. Once famously kicked a football boot in the dressing room and it hit David Beckham in the head and he had like stitches afterwards. And you get these players that played for him for 20 years that knew he was like that experienced it every day, and still 20 years later they would run through brick walls for him. But at the same time, that sort of thing, the starters does kind of burn out with some players. So, him being the greatest football manager ever, one of his greatest players, Roy Keane, absolutely hates his guts. And, you have these fallings out where things do end unceremoniously with players, but also it's like a generational thing too. That was 20, 30 years ago. And, cvMax is a fair bit older than these players. And things like that can make a difference. These days are young guys maybe a bit more sensitive? Are they going to necessarily respond the same way that someone like cvMax might? And God knows, with players in Korea, maybe someone that's gone through the military service and stuff is probably maybe that toughens them up. And these players are kind of before that whole part of their lives too. So there's all these different things where just the fact that a coach shouts at the players isn't on its own just definitely a negative. It just depends on many factors that we'll probably most likely not ever know, unless there's like behind the scenes documentaries get released that show him being out of order, which does happen more than you'd expect. That teams release stuff where their own staff or their own players come out looking like arseholes. But we'll see. But at the very least, in that series, it worked.
Like we don't have that much insight about what happens behind, like backstage. But for sure, one thing is that I think esports is a bit young as well, so maybe, the opposite of football, where it like, having a coach shouting at your player is really common. I think like esports, maybe for the audience to actually understand that it's a possibility to shout at your players, it's maybe a bit harder, So yeah,
Ooh,
I feel like, yeah, but in the end, I know that cvMax had some dramas already last year. I'm not sure about it, so I don't want to advance myself too much. But yeah, shouting at your player is not it's not something that should be reportable or that shouldn't happen or anything. If you're shouting constantly at your player, obviously you're just not doing a good job, but shouting at your players in tough situation is not something that should be reprehensible. That's just what I think.
Like, I understand the fact that for me, the way I see it is, I think shouting is bound to happen between whenever you get into conflicts or like I don't think it hasn't never happened like that players shout to one another. It's not like it changed. Like for me, dynamically speaking, it's not that it's much different. The one thing that for me kind of makes me wonder about cvMax is that he has had a recurring history trend of doing this. And while I think that there are some players who are a little bit tougher who can manage this and don't take it as hard as too much, I think there are some of the younger players, such as Korea, for example, that can potentially be very severely impacted by some of his coaching. And like I've always felt like cvMax is one of the most demanding coaches in the scene. He's kind of has a probably like a perfectionist kind of mentality where he wants everything to go his way because he believes that if the players play like this, he'll be able to lead the team to super high heights. I think there must be something about him, but however, that he should learn in that regard is that he, as a coach, as the head coach of the team, he kind of needs to be held to a higher standard in terms of behavior, and there must be like, I don't want like breaking point level of stuff. I think like the breaking point stuff from Team Liquid back in the day was something that I deemed unacceptable from whatever perspective, from both players but also the coach. At the
I would
time it
like
was
more of that, so I can
no,
see fun documentaries. But yeah.
no, for sure. But like what I mean is like it's not good for team environment and results. It doesn't. I don't think it's actually something that's hindering and not actually helping. Um, so I guess uh, the way I see it is there must be internally, at least, from the team side of things, there should be more, how do you say, safeguard, I guess you call it. I assume you call it safeguard for the players if they if the coach is being is being overly aggressive to its players. That's my issue. I don't think it's something that outside people can necessarily judge too much,
Yeah.
because like you guys said there, you don't have all the details, you don't have all the context. So I guess the best way would be the guys who are actually working internally. But I guess also at the same time, I think it's always been said that in Korean culture, at least in Asian culture, like the coach is kind of held to a higher authority level.
Yeah.
So he kind of gets to call the shots. So you can't really even fight back because of
Yeah.
seniority, which is something that, for example, doesn't really happen in the Western side
football.
of things.
And even in
I would
football.
assume.
Even in
Yeah,
football
yeah.
in general, like whenever a manager or a coach will cross the line, you will always have players such as Keane, where you were talking about Lee, who will just pick up. Yeah, in the French team, actually in football, we had a lot of
I was
examples of
gonna
that.
say. I was gonna say your
Samir Nasri,
your star player is.
I also I agree the fact that you guys were saying that players are not used to this, because for example, you guys probably had played football when you were younger. Probably you already had managers following you, I don't know, at the age of 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Mhm.
and as you progressively grow up, it kind of becomes tougher and tougher. Like the coach progressively becomes
Yeah,
tougher, not only in the demands that he wants from you, but also in your behavior, the way you want to speak with him. You cannot be like, like the how do you call it? Um, Forgot the word, but it's like you cannot be just a boy. You have to like be held to a higher standard. And I think the kind of the transition for most of the players in league is you start playing on your own on solo queue. You're kind of in your own dimension, and then once you're being put into a team contest or like a team environment, it completely changes because um it's a different dynamic. You're not used to that, and then you can go quickly from being just a solo queue player into a high stressful environment, which is pro play, in like the span of like, I don't know, 2 years, if you go through academy, LCKCL,
Yeah.
whatever, and then into LCK. Like that jump is much bigger than the one that probably has someone who has been playing football for like ever since he was like 5 or 6 and up until like 16, 17, as he progressively gets to pro.
Yeah.
And
And
also
even
the fact
then,
that
they'd have like a traditional sports. You'd have veteran players that can kind of take you under their wing, and veteran players would be 35 to 40-year-olds who actually have some life experience, but in league,
Yeah.
the veteran would be
22, 23.
21, 22, 23, who,
Like
in the
Vladdy
grand
was
scheme of things, is
considered a
not really much
veteran,
different.
Vladdy was considered a veteran in that Fnatic roster, so yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's that difference, and the only veteran guy in terms of age you would say is probably your coach. So it's the only person you can, or like team management. But like even if for example, if the management even is also very young, it's not like you can magically make it work,
Yeah.
So I think it's a combination of things. I still think that like that kind of behavior shouldn't be admissible. Like I think it's okay that it exists, but I don't think it should be. It shouldn't be as recurrent as the one that cvMax has had on record.
Yeah.
If everything that's been said on socials is true.
Yeah. Fair. Let's move on. Ethan, you had a pretty good prediction on Twitter the other day when
Oh yeah.
when the Esports World Cup, some details were released, some official details, not any leaks, but in terms of how many teams there's going to be, and before it was always an invite from for a team from the LEC, and then this year it has been announced officially. First of all, we've kind of jumped it with seeing the headline, but it was released. It was revealed that it would be there'd be the LEC winner, but then also an online qualifier for EMEA. So it didn't say, it kind of specifically said LEC for the first seed, and then EMEA broadly for the second one. And yeah, you had a guess that could potentially include ERL teams. But I saw you getting written off for the most part, that guess. But now,
yeah, I did.
Following a leak,
But I think I gave an hint to Wulu.
yeah,
I think
looks
that's
like
why
it.
we kind of digged about it on it. Honestly, I don't know, but I kind of guessed it.
So now it's a leak from G2 Esports that actually EMEA Masters teams will be in those qualifiers. So suddenly for EMEA Masters, the winter split is like maybe the most important one all of a sudden, or for the teams in ERLs that have already built their rosters. So it's good for them to know all this information now. But basically for EMEA Masters, it's got like a massively prolonged format and a prolonged schedule now. It goes over like 6 weeks or something, with different phases. But ultimately, there'll be 2 teams from EMEA Masters that will go to the EWC qualifiers for EMEA alongside the 10 LEC teams. So you're basically getting
LEC Versus 2.0.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the qualifiers for EWC is basically another LEC Versus, which means that.
But there's no LR. There's no LR, guys.
Yeah. Maybe if they
I
maybe
mean,
if
like,
they knew.
Crowny was doing the winky eyes on Twitter the other day.
Yeah.
Some hope in there, but
They
yeah.
need some
Like
more.
what?
They
They will
need.
join back NLC. It's too late.
Well, they need organisers to pull some more shenanigans. So because obviously they're not in the ERL. So how do they go to EMEA Masters? They need
But
there to be some new rule that says, the previous finalists of EMEA Masters get to come back automatically.
Have you seen that KCB will be playing in EMEA Masters winter?
Oh really?
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. They will be in winter.
What's the
Masters.
reason?
Like in the leak of Hulu, what he was saying is that, like, with that coming in, with the fact that Esports World Cup qualifier for ERLs will most likely be decided on EMEA Masters in winter, they just gave a spot to KCB, like they just gave them the spots, because they obviously couldn't be eligible to play for EMEA Masters in winter. But now they can, because if they couldn't, then it will just not be fair, They couldn't be there because of LEC Versus and stuff, so they just gave them a spot. So they will be joining from, I think, is it playoff or group stage? I don't know, but they will be joining from some spots in GME
In the
Masters in
tournament,
winter.
yeah.
And then that could mean that if a rat team would be to join, you know, to say, actually we didn't thought about it that much,
Yeah.
but you know,
Someone
I just
was saying that LR didn't mean Los Ratones, man, last ride. You know,
yeah, why
which
not?
actually
They
could
call
be.
themselves last ride now, and yeah, they just jump back because I would have guessed, honestly, given how it goes, that they would have get the spot, you know, if they asked for it. If they just asked for it now that KCB got it, I don't know why they shouldn't, you know. So I think they should do that. They should do, yeah, we take the spot for EMU Masters in winter. We don't play an LC after, but we take the spot, you know.
It would sound so weird from a competitive integrity. That was just like there's
That ship has
millions of
sailed. That
reasons.
that ship has sailed.
Like everyone would start like talking like discussing arguing on it on socials. But I would assume like I guess having a qualifier is good opportunity for ERL2 teams, ERL teams, I guess, at least. I don't think they will magically go to EWC. Like I would assume that for some of the, like, at least having more tournaments for ERLs and also the fact that from at least a business wise perspective, it could make sense, you know, because like there are massive prize pools going on there. But it's just that the fact that I still don't think that, even though you could see like two teams competing in with LEC teams, that will mean that EMEA teams will be strong enough to go there, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I don't think the LEC teams will give up on the opportunity of being at an international tournament
Never.
with top teams like Gen.G and stuff, because
Yeah.
it's
Especially given
basically
the
the
prize
same.
pool, you know, like
Yeah,
the money is
but
too
aside
much.
from the prize pool, it's just the fact that you get to play with the best teams. Like you get to play against Gen.G, even though it could be, you know, maybe it's not like the best form of Gen.G, but you gotta consider that some of these teams will likely come from MSI. So this guy, like the best teams, have already played against the other best teams in an international tournament. Into you're going there, so I don't think any of the LEC teams will give it up, and so it will be more. It will even tougher for EMEA teams to actually get there, considering how KCB and LR, performed in the first LEC Versus, like
Yeah,
as a benchmark, you know, and that's
and
what I mean.
honestly, I was kind of joking because I feel like he had to know, you know, like if he didn't know about it, given the fact that I assume a lot of teams were already aware of it. Like I know there are some teams in France, for example, that knew like 3 days ago, you know, 3 days before the leak, and there were some teams that knew 4 to 6 months ago. So I would assume that, you know, Cadwell knew it. LR had the option on the table, and maybe that's why they took so much time before announcing that it would be the end after the LEC Versus split. Maybe they thought about it, you know. But yeah, it would be kind of unfortunate if they didn't know about it and just announce on the spot that they will leave any competitive stuff. But yeah, to come back on the fact that LEC teams will give it their all, like there's just too much money at stake outside of, you know, the competitive side for the player and stuff. I feel like as as an org, you want to be there. Maybe you even more want to be there than you want to be at Worlds, which is kind of sad right now. But I guess from just a money point of view, for an org, it's just such a winning situation that you can never you just want to be there, I guess.
And it also means that old dream, the grassroots dream of building a 5-man roster together and grinding your way up, now you can win millions. And it just so happens that grassroots dream to the top of esports is a billions in investment sports watching project. So it's a bit of
Actually,
a contradiction.
imagine they win Esports World Cup and then they have enough money to actually buy an LEC slot.
Holy
Yeah, they
shit.
just join.
Well,
They
they'd have to
just
win
join
it. They'd
because
have to win it a few times for that. They'd have to keep coming
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, not sure about the Gen.G Los Ratones, not gonna lie.
Yes, but speaking of the sports washing efforts, there's also the other new tournament coming up at the end of this year, the Esports Nations Championship, that has
Heard
also
of it.
now officially got League of Legends in it, which is about bloody time. Obviously, we've had like the Asia Games a few times recently, but now after years and years of fans asking for a national tournament and Riot never doing it, all it took was for them to be paid millions and millions by somebody else, and now they agree it's a good idea and it's going to happen. So yeah, in I think November, isn't it? There is going to be an ENC. I forget the way the seeding works, but there'll be, I think it wasn't it like 4 teams from Europe. I forget off the top of my head.
I don't think it got
But there's-
announced already.
No, I don't think it got announced.
I thought I remember
it's-
seeing
I
like
think
qualifiers with him.
it's going to be like half of the teams will get invited. It's not sure what the
It's
number.
24
of
teams invited, 24 teams invited, and 36 teams in totals, I think. Or
Yeah.
something like that.
Sure.
Or maybe
No,
it's 12 teams, or maybe it's 12
No,
teams.
it was. It's still like as far as I remember, it's like 24 or 32 is still to be decided. But regardless, half of it will be invited, and then the other half will be through qualifiers with wildcards. So it will be probably either 12 or 16 teams for invited, and I would
Right.
assume like the top nations, get invited. So Korea, China, France, Spain, stuff like this. Canada,
Yeah.
USA will be kind of all included.
You didn't
I
say
don't know
Italy.
what. I don't know, man. It kind of depends on whether Shadow decides to play for Italy.
Yeah.
You'll be
Kind-
otherwise
kind
it'll
of-
be you in the
kind
bloody
of
jungle.
cooked, given the passport situation, I think it's kind of cooked for you guys.
I
You'll
don't
be
know,
playing
man.
Davide.
I mean, oh yeah. No, I have my clone Tao playing the top lane.
Well,
That's true.
shall we figure out a few of these teams as a bit of
Ooh.
a thought experiment? I'm just opening LoL Pros. I think that's going to help as well.
Let's go Korea first, please. Let's just get the
Let's
big
start
elephant out
slowly.
of there.
Well, so I think part of it, wasn't it? They said that it could only be three players from any single team, right?
So this is what they said. Yeah, apart from that, so you cannot have more than 3 players from the same club, and the deadline is like locked at, I guess, like roster must be locked by April 30th, or yeah, I think it's April. But like teams you can technically make more than one national team and compete. So you can have like multiple national like rosters from the same nation, but only one can compete in the big
Like
tournament.
maybe in the
at end.
qualifiers, you could put a couple of teams. And
Yes, you can potentially put like 3 Spanish teams if you wanted to, like if Spain does not get the invite.
I dread to think what the third UK team would look like. Jesus Christ. First one's going to look
Does
dodgy enough.
Does the top 2 have Casual in it?
Probably the top 1 is begging him to
Yeah.
to come back to pro play.
But yeah, so like based on that rule, I was thinking about like what if Korea just decides to like throw it all out of the way and put like 10 rosters, but I assume that they'll get the invite, so
Yeah.
it will save the embarrassing showing against everyone else. But I don't know.
How many
like,
subs? How many subs can you take? I think it was 2 or 3, no?
two subs, yes.
Oh yeah.
2 subs. I mean, South Korea is pretty easy. I think they either stick to whoever plays on the Asian games.
Nah, I think things have changed, man. Like I think
No,
you don't put Zeus over Keen, for example, right now.
No, I mean what I mean is like not
from a
this,
structural
just
point
this
of view?
Asian games. I guess it's like one like players who have played for national team in previous occasions. So it could be anyone who has played in the previous Asian games, or anyone who has played it will be playing this upcoming one, I would assume.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it makes sense, they represented the nation
Easier
already
for-
before.
Organizing everything
on
easier and stuff, yeah, for sure.
yeah, and obviously Kespa actually kind of calling the shots, I would assume. You probably would have Faker somewhere, Faker and Chovy, one as sub and one as main as the
Agonist.
starting. Yeah.
Got to pick
I
one.
don't
Yeah.
really sure. I'm not. Yeah.
So I
Faker
mean, to
Chovy.
me, it's Keen, Honor, Chovy, Ruler, and Kyria. Maybe even no. I was
Yeah,
gonna
I
say
think it would
Duro.
make
I was
sense.
gonna say Duro, but the issue with
The
Duro.
funny thing, would be DFGK. You can actually put it,
Yeah.
like DFGK is actually doesn't break the rules, but it would kind of be weird for the Gen.G players,
Yeah, and it would
But
not be
yeah, I
deserved,
guess it
honestly.
would be like, yeah, it wasn't be deserved. I think it would be what Ethan was saying, like Keen, owner.
Chovy, Ruler, Kyria, yeah. It's
Yeah, and then I think you would
And
probably put.
congratulations on first place, South Korea. Here's your
For
here's your $10
fairness,
million.
For fairness, I think you would probably put Faker as sub.
Yeah.
The first
and
sub,
then it's hard, Then it's hard for me. It's
Yeah,
either Duro or Diable to me.
Yeah, but you can't put Duro.
But is it
You
that
already
you can
got three-
put even in sub? You can put the
Yeah, I don't think-
fourth player in the same team in sub?
No, I don't.
Maybe not.
I don't know, because otherwise, if the sub, if like Carriers breaks down, you
Mm.
cannot play with the support, So
Yeah.
I think it would probably be between. I would say Konavi or Zeus.
To me, it's Diable, honestly.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the gap
I
between
think
King
it
and
would
Zeus
be-
right now is bigger than the gap between Ruler and Diable right now.
Okay, you're strictly okay. Fair. You're strictly thinking it from a competitive perspective.
Yeah.
I'm trying to consider like it makes sense
Synergy?
for the nation, because I don't think many people like. I think in terms of wider reach and prestige, I wouldn't put Diable so early. Like I would wait another 4 years to put Diable in if he actually ends up being
Damn, 4
a
years
superstar.
is long, man. 4 years is so long.
I mean,
the guy is
not
already
for
at first
ENC.
He's
Not
probably
for
at first
ENC. Yeah, now you jinxed it.
But that's
watch him get smashed by Smash, No pun.
Nice one.
No, but fair. I guess it makes sense. Like definitely from a performance like point of view, Diable would probably deserve it. I would probably put Zeus or Kanavi just because Kanavi already played in Asian games, and Zeus kind of probably needs a shot, because I don't think he played it. If I'm correct.
Zeus played the Asian games, yeah, he did.
Oh, he did? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like maybe you just put Ruler and Duro and you put Faker or Zeus stop lane, honestly. Because I feel like bot lane synergy is so important, and Ruler and Duro play together. I think Duro is better than Kyria right now, honestly. So, yeah, maybe that's take, but I think Duro is the GOAT right now, honestly. I think he's just the best support in the world. Since
I'm
like
sorry, I can't. After watching that like I feel like the only reason T1 was barely keeping up with DK in the last game was only Kerio. Like the fact that he denied so many engages from the Nico game, like the game from that Nico
but Kyria is
engage.
playing very well. You're right. I think this early season, even though I think the synergy with Space is not at his best, I think individually speaking, Kyria is playing very, very, very well in this early season.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, again, Duro is just the best support in the world right now. Period.
Fair.
Let's do some other teams so we get through
Yeah.
more than just one of them. Let's do Italy then. Give yours, Davide. So
Wow.
you're saying Tau top, yeah?
Wow. Actually, I think
Tau.
it might be hard to put 5 players in it.
Actually, no.
So
Actually,
you'll be trying to beg some out of retirement, certainly in the mid lane, I reckon.
Was it Monsieur Yordle? Is it the French guy who does the?
He does the statistics
Actually,
stuff.
I actually submitted my Italian team, but I haven't actually watched that much. Like I picked up a few names that I know have been playing pro, like somewhat competitive over the past
That's what you have
years.
to do when you don't have a good team, you know.
Ooh,
Just put the most players that have
ooh,
been playing pro, you know.
ooh. I'm going to slam your French squad.
Yeah, good
But
luck with
actually, I
that.
put
Good
so
luck
wait.
with that.
I put Tao in the top lane, but then I also put Shelfmade as
But
sub because
Chefmate is German, no?
he actually is German Italian as far as I know. He should have
On LoL
Italian
Pros, he
passport.
comes up when you click Italy. Whatever
Yeah, exactly.
whatever
Yeah,
that
as
stands
well.
for.
Yeah.
That's actually so sad that both your two best players are top laners, you know?
You can have Shadow. Come on, Shadow counts.
Yeah, like I would like to put Shadow in
Okay,
case it's not
go
Shadow.
ahead.
Just put Shadow for now. The other one would be Goliath because I think this guy has been playing like jungle for quite a while. And I remember like him starting out like 3-4 years ago, I think, or something like that. And then in the mid lane, I put Vigil.
Come
He
on.
is
Man,
also
put Jizuke and good
Exactly,
luck, you know?
exactly.
he's not playing like Jizuka. I haven't heard from this guy for like
Yeah,
years.
but you know, I haven't heard of any of your of Italian mid laners, you know, absolutely.
No, listen, I
and
need the
then-
precedent of using old players because when it gets to the
Yeah,
UK,
And then
I'm gonna have to do that.
then AD it's Tyrone
Never heard of him.
and bot lane is Click because they've been playing
Yeah.
together on Humble.
Yeah, and Click, I know about this guy actually.
Yeah,
He's
like
very
Click has been playing, and I think he's pretty good. Actually, between Tyrone and also ADC, also had Rarish, who used to play in ERLs for back in the day, like 2017, 18, 19, I think. He was playing for like Bachco in he was like the top Italian team in the championship. And then for fun, I put as coach or sub, I put Briz. El Briz. He's a streamer who used to play for Uplayed back in the day. I'm not sure if he played with Shadow for a while. I think maybe they have. But
gonna lie, I think with this team-
he's a co-streamer for now. For he does co-stream. He's like a content creator for G2.
I
I'm
think
not sure
with this team, bro, the coach is Jizuke, and good luck with that, you know. The coach and mid laner is Jizuke, and good luck with that. But yeah, not gonna lie, if you make it to the Nations Cup with this team, like if you win against enough teams to make it to the Nations Cup, I would be very surprised, honestly.
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't even know who will be coaching. I like the only coach I know that is the two coaches I know that are somewhat good are Cristo and Gina. Gina used to coach Desire back in the day. He's now coaching Rogue in the Solari, I think, actually in the LFL. He used to coach Rogue last year, I think.
Actually, it's not that bad if coaching Solari, you know. It's the best team in LFL right now.
Yeah. He's probably assistant coach, I think. Current assistant coach for Solari, but he used to be head coach for an Italian team back in the day. So yeah, I think he's pretty good. And I actually like the guy. He's super good to work with. So I don't know. You could argue that you can get as an Italian support, if you don't want Click, you can get Efias, who used to play for. It's like an Italian Ukrainian guy. We all have mixed double nationality players. He used to play for G2 Arctic back in the day. The G2 Academy team in like 2022, if I'm not mistaken. He used to play for several teams. He's like 10 years apparently. Like he played with. He actually played with Cat Evolved. I'm not sure if you guys know the.
Sure.
He played with Agrin, Cat Evolved in a Dunk Dynasty.
In their streamer team,
Yeah, the streamer team. He played for a bit, like 2 months apparently last year. But yeah, that's it. I'm not sure, man. I'm not that confident.
Yeah, I think let's move on, no?
Yeah.
There's not much to
Let's
say
do
about that.
French. I want to blast your French one now.
Well, the French one will
it's-
actually be
it's fine, man.
reasonably good.
Yeah.
Let me see,
well,
let me
I don't know how will you blast anything?
No, I will
honestly.
blast you for not putting the right players. Because
Okay,
tell
okay,
me
okay.
now, you got Hansama Kalis.
Yeah.
Do a choice.
Yeah. You want to know my 5?
Yeah, of
Yeah, go on.
course.
Right now, my five would be Adam top, Scoman jungle, Nuke
Nuke,
mid
I know, yeah.
lane, Kalist bot, and there that's where I have kind of a hard time because I
Stan,
think
man, you can't put me Zoelis or you gotta put Stan.
no, there's Zoelis, man. I think Zoelis
No,
is super good.
really?
I think Zoelis is super good. I think Stand had a very rough versus. Like I think he was the worst player in his team, honestly. And so yeah, I think I would put Zoelis. Honestly, I think I would put Zoelis, which is like the support from Galleons. I think Galleons right now is the best, by far the best team in ERLs. Not gonna lie. Um, and yeah, I would say Zoelis is a big part of why they're so good. And I think Kalis Zoelis will actually bang because those two are crazy, you know. Those two are crazy players that just want to go forward and want to play the game, you know. They won't ever back down. So yeah, I really like this bot lane. And while Stand is crazy, I don't think he's as precise as Zoelis right now. So yeah.
Striker coach.
I mean, I haven't followed. I haven't followed Zoelis this year, unfortunately, in the ERLs.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
He-
since he left Rogue, a lot of people like stop watching
Yeah.
him, which is normal, you know. But I think at Rogue he was really not helped by the environment and stuff. But I think this guy really has a big potential. Honestly.
You would put Nuke over Vitio? Like I haven't
Yeah,
followed.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
100%.
Fair.
VTO is teamless right now. Last
Yeah,
year with
fair.
Vitality B was not playing good at all.
Okay.
I will say I'm not sure he played with the best player around him, you know, because VTO is a player that loves to have kind of the game centered on him, which he didn't have last year. But yeah, right now I think VTO is kind of, I don't know, maybe, but he's not playing, you know. So yeah, for sure Nuke is the best choice in mid lane. And
Who
actually,
would?
outside of Nuke, we don't have many good mid laners. Not gonna lie, I think it's second. The
Okay.
second one I would say is second right now.
Yeah, I was looking at it's like Camilo is the only other one that I would
Yeah,
probably
Camilo for sure.
for
But again,
somewhat consider.
Camilo, when you look at his LEC splits, you don't want to see him with those players in the French
You
team.
know,
Not gonna lie.
fair. But I also kind of wanted to ask you like if you had to put subs because I feel like you have a lot of like good subs. Like you got Exokick, you got Hans, of course.
Hans is there for sure.
Yeah, for
Hans
sure.
is the first sub, I
And
think.
then there's like even like for support you got Prime. You got
Well, if I put Zoelis, I have stand, you know.
okay, fair. That makes sense.
But
Makes
but
sense.
to me, I think honestly, I would put Shio as the
sub?
sub. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I understand why
But I
you
think
would do
Skumond
that.
is so good. But in the end,
You,
like Skumond
you
is so
would need
good
to
that
have you would swap out Skumon, you know.
yeah, I don't think so.
Like I personally nothing against Shio. I think he's been doing super good this year, but like Skumon does a little bit everything that Shio does, but better.
Yeah.
To me.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's kind of the same playstyle, but Skumond is just better overall. So yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, it's not even worse to put one or the other.
Yeah.
Well, I think, for example, Kalist and Hans, you know, if you want more of an hyper carry stuff that will carry the team fight and just AFK the lane a bit, maybe you put Kalist. If you want to play some Kalista, some Draven, you know, that want to be very aggro in early. Well, even though it's been a while, we haven't seen Ansama playing that kind of stuff, but you know, if Ankh still has it, then maybe you put Ansama in. You know, there's a few things that you could do with that. But yeah, I think honestly, I would put Stand and Ansama probably.
To do
Subs.
mine.
Let's do yours.
I'm
Wow.
gonna have to take some old players that aren't active. Otherwise, it just looks ridiculous. I'm going
Man, don't
if
tell me
they're
you're
on.
gonna put KRL.
I'll try and pick ones that are active solo queue players still, which means I get to put Alfari top.
Yeah.
Fair.
No,
Makes
but
sense.
honestly, it's fair, you know, like.
It's probably the best top laner you got.
Yeah.
Hands down. Like
Or
no,
else maybe you
just
take
looking like
Split Shot,
this.
but then you ban Pantheon and it's fucked, you know.
Otherwise, there's like a couple of names I remember from like watching NLC or UKLC back in the day, but none of them that would do the job. I think Alfari today would still be better. Jungle then. Jungle, I would like to also invoke an old player. I'd probably have to have Max Law. There is one player, no
There's
name.
no name as well.
Yeah, I
no?
was going to say no name, who's like actually has been like decent in ERLs the last couple of years. So maybe it's a bit harsh to him, but we need the experience, because then mid lane
Oh no.
is a disaster. I mean, I'm not sure I could even remember one off the top of my head. That's
Well,
where.
I can. That's the issue.
Who's yours? Is it someone that actually?
His name is Marc Lamont.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Nah, bro. No. You put him.
You have
No,
to
I
ask
mean,
him out of
like,
retirement and ask him to
Yeah.
roll swap back.
He cancelled it, you know.
But I mean, fucking hell,
Maybe-
yeah.
Like, I would rather see casual. I would see rather casual in jungle or support. But the thing is, like, for me, support is quite like there. I have a name for support. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
have a
do
name
as
for.
well.
I wouldn't have a name for mid lane.
Support is Kasing. Who else?
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
it's
support,
Kasing,
it's
yeah, for sure.
Kasing. Absolutely.
Do you know that actually the highest elo UK player right now is a mid laner,
Yeah.
and his name is BZ. I guess. BZ.
Never heard of him.
Same.
Does it say that he's had any former team?
Best Z EU West. Z
Yeah.
player.
Okay, so that's going to
Then
be good in
it's
the
just,
fearless, isn't it?
He's an
so
OTP.
cute,
Yeah.
bro.
It's,
Yeah.
it's cuffed.
And then that leaves me ADC. Actually,
To
to
me,
be fair,
it's
we've always
easy.
had a couple. Mainly, it's Deadly and Xmatty who are like all right ERL players.
Deadly
Obviously,
right now is very good. Deadly is a very strong
Yeah.
player right now in GLFL. Like
Yeah.
recently in ERLs, it's been very good.
That's who I was
Like it's
thinking
been a
to
talent, you know.
edge on. Xmatty's got the the BDS cloud over him,
Ooh, X Maddie, yeah. Fair.
so we'll go
I
Deadly.
haven't heard from him in a while though.
He's not even coming up on LoL Pros, so like maybe he's just not even playing right now.
Yeah, probably. But I think like Deadly in 2024, he was playing for EC Japan, you know, when they were in Div 2, and he is the player. He was like kind of the star player of this team when they made it to actually G up and down, and that they got their spot to GLFL. And yeah, I think he was the star player with Amon, you know. Those two were really the star player of this team, and even though last year was not as easy for him with job life, I still think he's a very good player, a very talented player. Right now he's playing for Skill Camp in GLFL, which is the most surprising team we had in the first split of LFL, you know. Because I think they are the only Div 2 team that qualified to playoff, actually. So yeah. No, there are two Div 2 teams that qualified to playoff, but Skill Camp was the most convincing one, I would say, to me.
What country do you guys want to do next? We can still do a couple more, I think. We got time.
I would do for me.
Spain,
I would obviously
maybe, no?
I would do Spain and China.
Yeah.
I mean, Spain. There's a few easy ones, right? Because you pick the 3 that you can from KOI, surely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I would do as
And
well.
then
Yeah.
I was
same.
thinking top, you'd probably go Oscar,
Yeah,
but mid is
agree.
not great. I was thinking mid. Actually, I was thinking in my head I had Mirwin, but obviously that's not allowed.
Yeah. But yeah, he once said that he will play mid lane for Spain if needed to.
Who else
I
is
mean,
there?
the only
I
one
expect
that I had in mind aside from Oscar would be Antonio.
Yeah, Antonio, but right now I think he's a
Antonio.
content creator, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he's doing right now, but that was the only other name that came up. You can.
There's also Sendu, I think. But yeah, no,
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
you go Oscar and then you go
Would you-
Hydra in mid lane.
Would you do the crazy thing of not putting Elioye and put Tiger in to put Mirwin on top
Actually,
lane?
that's
And
I can see it, you know. I can
like,
see it. I think Tiger
it's
is
something
so
that
good.
Oh well, you would
it's
do
obviously
you'd do
bad.
Razork, wouldn't you? Instead of Elioya.
No.
Yeah, right
Tiger.
now I prefer to have
Tiger
Tiger than
absolutely
Razork.
over Razork. I'm sorry. It would be
But
kind of
actually,
crazy.
no, I think Elioya is such a solid captain and stuff. You can't remove it.
No,
Yeah.
you let him roll swap to mid.
Or you either put Mirwin in, because I think Mirwin is better than Oscar, but then you swap out Supa for Flack. I think that's the only other thing I would potentially consider.
Nah, guys,
'Cause-
I think there's a good mid laner. They do have a good mid laner, like a
No,
decent
no,
one.
but
at
I'm
least.
talking about for the MKOI trio.
Yeah, but
For mid lane, I don't really know. Like, I have no clue.
no, but to me, you have to put Elioya. You have to put Elioya jungle and just like
You know,
let,
but
let the guy be the captain of the team.
I meant you put Mirwin in, and you
Mhm.
take Super out, and you put Flack instead of Super. But I think you will probably lose all the MKOI synergy right there, which I don't
think
think you...
I'd rather have the MKOI bot lane
Yeah,
with Oscar than having Mirwin but not Super. You know,
yeah.
So what,
Yeah.
who would we put in mid then?
it's Hydra. To me, it's Hydra. It's like the highest elo I think mid laner right now
Yeah,
in Spain, and he's playing for a Spanish team which is called Lua. And yeah,
Lua
to
again, yeah.
me, he's decent. You know, he probably is not on the level of the rest of this team, but yet he's decent. You know, and it's not a one trick or anything. You know, he can play every champion. So yeah, that's kind of the default option, but you have to go for it. And this team still looks stacked, you know, because of the fact they have that jungle bot lane synergy. Oscar is still an LEC caliber player to me, like even though he will mostly be bottom of the stand, like bottom of the top lane right now. So yeah, still a decent team.
Who's going China? Shadow jungle.
To me, you have to take the top side of BLG, whatever.
I agree. You could argue that I would probably take out Shun for JJ in current state if I wanted to get on on a support. But honestly, like, I think actually China is like has plenty of options because you can like.
And Knight, you have to put Knight as well,
That's okay.
Lee.
I think it would be like so for sure Bin and Knight. I'm
Yeah.
thinking whether I would swap out Bin for someone else.
Well, Flandre can be an option. And actually, I think
Flandre,
Flandre...
I would put Flandre as a sub
Yeah,
because you want to
yeah.
play like that kind of weak side thingy.
Yeah.
I would actually like, for me, like the biggest debate would actually be in ADC, not
Yeah, I agree.
all the roles, because I think you get
or maybe
like
support as well, but yeah, I agree.
I think ADC because you got Gala, you got Elk, you got Jackie Love, and you got the crazy thing of putting back UCI.
No, bro, calm down. Already talking about Jackie Love right now is kind of scuffed, but bro.
And then, like, I don't know. I think I think it would be so support would be for me probably Vampire on. One of the two. I would probably
No, but
put on.
G2 is we already have three players from BLG, so we can put.
Yeah,
on.
that's why I said I wouldn't put Shun. I would keep Shun out, choose one between JJ and Wei.
Actually, have you seen how well Zuo is playing right now? With
Yeah, I know Droll is playing also well. So it's like,
maybe if he keeps grinding, you know, there's something to do with this guy.
I don't know, man. It's
Or maybe
I
you
feel
put
like
the Gen.G bot lane.
I feel like Vampire. I actually wouldn't. I wouldn't be. It wouldn't be bad if I put JDG's bot lane actually, because I think Gala Vampire is actually a pretty solid bot lane. So I probably would like, based on current standings, I would go with Gala Vampire bot lane and then BLG's top side.
Easy.
Yeah,
and I think
and
it probably makes sense.
Because Elk is looking very insane right now. Maybe
Like Elk is so insane. Like that's why it feels like it feels like it's a bad thing. I only put Gala over Elk because of synergy, but I definitely would want to have Elk in there.
And then it's probably as well, because last year was better for Gala than Elk.
Yeah, and then I would probably put Flandre as the other sub. It kind of would be weird to not put Shanks and Hope though, you know. You could argue. You could also argue.
No, but Elk. I'd say Elk is like much more of a carry than Hope right now. Like you'd prefer to have Elk in sub than.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess
there's also missing, by the way. There's also missing, which is like, you know, more reliable option because he's kind of older, you know. He's a veteran.
Nah, I wouldn't. I still think the like even the fact of not putting on is a little bit criminal to me. Even though he has some off games, you know. But I just
Yeah.
think the trade-off you get from putting Gala and Vampire together is worth it.
Yeah,
I was
you could also see and put Elk and Era, for example, since they've been so good. But yeah.
realistically speaking, like which EU teams do you think are going to be the strongest, just overall?
France and
I
Spain.
think it's between France. Also, I don't see Turkey in the. Ah, yeah, it is. Okay, I just saw it.
You
We've not
don't
got- we've-
recognize flags.
We've not got Germany on there. I've clocked that.
Oh yeah, actually,
Oh, yeah,
I
that's what
told
I-
that one.
Yeah, so there's like, to me, Turkey, France, Germany, Spain,
I would
probably
actually say
Denmark as
Sweden.
well.
I would actually say Sweden.
Sweden maybe, yeah, Denmark as well.
Poland. Poland
Yeah.
sounds legit. I mean, for me, it's Poland. The thing with Poland is that they have so many junglers.
Yeah.
Like you got Inspired, you got Yankos.
It would have to be inspired these days, right?
Yeah, no,
That's
definitely.
Syncroft as well.
Yeah,
G2, no, G2 is the top lane.
you got Douglas, which is not too bad.
Yeah, true.
It
Yeah,
would be top.
top, it will be Tracing, I think.
Drutut.
No, it will be Tracing.
No, I'm joking. No,
It will
definitely
be Tracing
Tracing.
inspired. Maybe you can put Busio support. This team is stacked if you put
Yeah.
Busio support, actually.
Yeah,
Did
I think it would be like.
Didn't he say?
Would
He
you?
said something about who he'd represent, no? Or that's
Yeah,
just-
I think he said, yeah, he talked about it. He said, I think it was with you guys.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
He said he will play like if Poland team speak Polish, then
Oh yeah,
it's,
that was
it's
it.
scuffed. He has
Yeah.
to play for US.
Yeah.
But actually, I think all the players in Poland, if they can have the trade-off of having Busio in their team,
Yeah.
they will most likely speak in English. They don't care. I think.
Who's AD? I
But,
don't know. I don't recognize many of these names.
But otherwise, you have Trimby actually, which is
AD would
Woolite.
be Woolite. I have. I'm not sure if
Oof.
he's playing. Harpoon.
Yeah, it's Harpoon. Actually, yeah, you're right.
I think it would be
It's
like
totally
Harpoon Trimby. Actually.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Harpoon,
Trimby. I
yeah,
think
most likely.
Trimby's a fair one if we're being realistic.
Yeah. And mid lane, who do you have?
You
mid
also
lane?
have
Shayek.
Shamulek.
You have Shayek.
I mean, you got
Oh, yeah.
Frescavi, Shazek, and what's it called?
Chocolate.
Zyru. Actually, I have Zyru, who used to play. And also Chocolate, yeah. They got
Yeah,
plenty
I
of
would say it's Shayek, Chocolade, and who was that you were saying? Shayek, Chocolade,
Zyru.
Zweiru, and
Yeah.
Chayak.
and Frescovi, yeah, and Frescovi.
Frescavi, yeah.
I think Shayek, Frescovi, or Chocolade are the three best options, but I would
Yeah.
still put Shayek to me.
Yeah.
He had still a convincing year overall last year.
Well, if
US.
we're leaving Busio out, let's do USA then. So I'll quickly put in just the most legendary players in each position. So we just get that out of the way. It's an easy one. Wait, hold on. And there we go. USA done. Easy peasy, innit?
No, but Sven is not American, actually.
But that's the whole point
the
of
joke,
the
mate. None of these
team.
are
Oh, I
American.
didn't. I can see the other ones.
I had Impact, Sven Skaren, Bjergsen, Sven, Cool JJ.
Okay.
Legit,
yeah.
not bad.
Actually,
team, that.
actually, do you have like? I think it's Busio, Blabber, then what? Yeon?
Yeah, I think it would be Blabber, Yon, Busio.
Yeah, I think you put Yeon at the ADC, then
Is Dokla now US guy?
Counts.
Yeah.
and on mid
Dokla.
lane, who do you have on mid lane?
APA,
APA
innit?
for sure, no?
APA, no?
Actually,
Wait,
it's not that bad.
Let me quickly go through like the players.
When your region, should mainly be one country. It should be able to get a half decent team.
I mean, you could argue Dark Wings probably
Yeah.
as sub, and then there's like for junglers there's like Griffin, Contracts, Kisno, Syed,
And there's really not many
then-
American players in the LCS. I'm just looking at the
no, I
actual
was actually thinking.
rosters
I
now.
was actually thinking if there was anyone from the old days. I don't think there are many. There are that many.
I guess
Canada
there's
wouldn't look
Rui
too bad.
you could put in contracts.
Canada, you
Yeah.
got a decent bot lane.
Yeah.
Don't remember
Yeah, the
much
bot lane is
else.
very good. The bot lane is very good actually.
Yeah, I think it would
Actually,
be
the five players are quite good, you know. I'd say I have a few reserves about Dokla, even though I think he's playing well recently, you know, with Worlds and LCS. But outside of it, I think it's a very good roster, honestly. I think this is like, you know, contender for actually being in the next spot after China and Korea, honestly.
who would
Bold.
Canada have though?
Yeah, apart from bot lane, I'm kind of struggling really.
Yeah,
no,
there's
bot lane
Jojo for
is
sure. For sure, in mid lane there's Jojo.
It's
Oh,
Jojo
shit,
Master
yeah.
Vulcan.
Sorry.
It's Jojo Master Vulcan for sure. Mid bot.
Yeah, then good luck. Oh no, there's
Kryra?
that guy.
Kryra?
Uh,
Kryra and Zamudo, actually.
yeah, Zamudo. Yeah. That's what I was
Kryra and
thinking.
Zamudo. He actually, this guy is being like I would definitely love to see Zamudo because this guy unfortunately has been like
Yeah, visa issues.
visa issues like all the way through. Like this guy cannot play in the LCS whatsoever. So it would be at least a good opportunity for him to get some on stage.
Yeah, and he got very hyped up. You know, I think this guy is a very good, very big talent. Like from what I heard.
Yeah,
LACL, he was
definitely. Like I think he was one of the
biggest
highest ranked guys on NA solo queue top lane. Like this guy was stomping everyone. Like laning wise, it's kind of like those Asian dudes who just min max the laning phase and then it's over. You know.
Yeah. Then I think another big team is Greece. No. Greece
Comp,
they have Comp,
Vladi.
Labrov, Comp, Vladi, Labrov, Ampiros top lane.
Okay, and then who's the jungler though?
Ooh, okay, I need to think about this one.
I'm looking.
Huh.
Who's on the
You
ladder?
have, I guess it's.
I don't know any of the guys I'm looking at right now.
Same. Yeah, I think I've heard about Carnage, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not recognizing like a single name.
Yeah, Jungle is
Carnage,
kind of
okay.
scuffed, I guess.
Oh, for Entropic Q, okay.
Do we do a role swap? I don't know who. I don't know many Greek players.
No, I know there's like Unknown and Mursa from past years.
Yeah, Mersa is for sure the sub to Labrov.
The sub to Labrov. I actually think Sweden would probably be strong.
Let's, you know what, we stick Labrov in jungle, and then put
and put Mersa jungle.
Yeah.
Super, not bad.
There you go.
I mean,
Forgive
like
me, coach.
Sweden is stacked, by the way.
Let's do Sweden as the last one because I've got to go. But
Yike jungle, 100%.
Yeah.
And then
Reckless support.
I think you would put Reckless
support, Unforgiven
AD. Yeah. And then ooh. I actually thought there was going to be
probably you put Peng. No, Slow Q actually.
Slow Q's coming
Slow Q is very good. Yeah.
Larson.
Is Slow Q? Does Slow Q count as Swedish? No.
Yeah.
On low
he
pros,
has both nationalities.
Does he have Swedish?
Yeah, he has both nationalities.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Then it would be Slow Q, and I would say
Prize.
Prize.
Yeah, Prize is very good as well. Yeah, actually, they have a stack team.
Yeah, Prize, and then subs. It would
Finn
be
is Swedish,
something
isn't he?
like I would put the bows just for the. Just for
He's
fun.
retired.
Actually, you have to.
Actually, Legend is second best top laner.
Actually, you put him as a coach, you know. Damn, that will be aura, you know. You put him as a coach.
Yeah. Yamato Cannon coach.
You could argue it's like someone like Larson, Baus, or who was it? There was another Jastukla.
Actually, is there a Nuke Duck? No, I think Nuke Duck is Swedish.
Yes, I think you're right.
I mean, he coaches though. I don't think he's been playing much. You mean for coach?
Yeah, I was talking about the coach.
Yeah, then probably
No, he's not. He's okay.
I know. Just put Yamato, man. Just put Yamato.
Yeah, sure.
Just put Yamato.
Yeah, Nuke Duck is not.
And then have Magi Felix as sub, please.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect sub. Play any role.
Like he plays any role, you know. Like this guy, where is he gone though? By the way,
it's such a shame because I used to watch him. He used to play for Fnatic's academy in like the UK leagues, and he was also like he was just always so much better than everybody else by miles. But just I feel he needed good PR. He needed a good manager, I think. But never mind. Let's leave it there. Maybe we can gradually fill some of these in if we're struggling for topics over the next weeks. But yeah, that'll do it.
I want us to do Turkey, by the way, because it will be for the next one. But
yeah,
I think
we'll start with that
Turkey
one
has very
next.
stacked roster.
Sounds good. Well, as always, guys, thank you for your time. Especially Ethan. It was really nice of him to eventually show up. So thanks very much for that, mate.
My bad.
and thanks as always for listening as well. And we'll see you next week.
See you guys. Bye bye.